Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make your very own modern house. I have also designed the inside of the house for you as well, hopefully to give you a little bit of inspiration, but we'll take a look at that at the end of the video. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make your modern house. Please do make sure that you have access to all of those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. So the first thing that we are going to do is place 4 blocks of quartz on top of each other. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to leave a gap at the bottom of this row of block of quartz, and we want to leave a gap of 2. So 1, 2. We then want to make another row of 4, just 2 rows away from the original row. And then we want to take the top of the row and extend left by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're then going to extend upwards by 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to take this entire row of block of quartz and we're going to extend it backwards by 14 rows. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if you do want to increase the length of that row, without really making your house look weird at all, you can actually do that. You can make it very, very long and you can increase the amount of space inside of the house. However, for those of you that are quite happy with the row of 14, here it is. What we're now going to do is take the very bottom block of the row that we just created and we're going to extend it left. We want to extend it left with the purpose of connecting it all the way to the very front of the build as we placed it earlier. We then want to connect this right hand side of the build down to the ground. Another way of looking at this is taking the original row of 4 block of quartz and extending it backwards underneath the row that we just made. That will give us this shape. So, once we have this shape, on the back of the build, I want you to extend the block of quartz to the right. I want you to extend it top to bottom to the right, 1, 2, 3 rows, just like this, and we're just going to fill those in. I then want you to grab the grey concrete, and inside of this row of block of quartz, inside and to the right like this, I want you to place a row of grey concrete that would extend up from the ground to the top of the frame. I then want you to place 4 rows of glass. Now you can use any glass. I'm actually going to be using block. I don't know why, I'm on block recently, but you can use block or paint. It literally doesn't matter. But I would use light blue. We want to place 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to mark out a block using grey concrete. We then want to place 4 more glass. 1, 2, 3, 4. With a grey concrete there on the end. So, we want to take this grey concrete and we want to extend it forwards. The idea is we want to extend it forwards so that it sits just inside of the block of quartz that we have above us. And you can make sure of this by adding a couple of rows of grey concrete directly on top. So just make sure that it sits inside of your block of quartz on the side and the front. And speaking of the front, what we can then do with this block that is sitting inside, we can then place a door to the right. We can place grey concrete up the right side of the door and extend it across and on top of the wooden door. We can then, to the right of the door frame, place 2 entire rows of glass. So 1, 2. We can then place grey concrete on the end. I want you to extend the grey concrete backwards by 7 rows, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can shorten this row if you want to have more interior space, and we want to extend all of those rows backwards. We're then going to add an additional row of grey concrete, extending inwards to the right side, with then 3 rows of light blue glass, 1, 2, 3, and then I want you to stick grey concrete on the end there. And then we're going to extend the grey concrete upwards, we're going to fill the glass in between, and that will create an interior wall which should look like this. You see, the cool part of this is we can then extend the opposite side of where we started. Remember, we started with the first row of 4 block of quartz, and we have the second one here. We can extend the second row backwards, and we can join it to the row of grey concrete that we just placed. And the block of quartz is actually higher than all of the other colourful blocks. And whilst we have these at the back, I want you to extend the glass and the grey concretes just upwards by 2 rows, just to make it so that all of those rows are the same height. And we'll end up with something that should look like this, which hopefully has been quite easy to make so far. It actually looks so much more different from this view around the outside rather than the top. So the next thing I want you to do, we're just going to kind of make a floor for our house. Our house is separated into 2 floors. We have the ground floor, and then we have the first floor, or the first and the second. However you want to see it, however you want to say it, it's up to you. But I want you to extend the block of quartz throughout the entire build. It wants to sit on top of the grey concrete. It's basically that horizontal row of block of quartz that kind of persisted throughout the entire middle of the build. Anyway, I want you to extend it through and just make it just a big platform, basically, just like this. So now that we have filled in our platform, we can start constructing the second floor. I'm going to come all the way to the back right hand corner of the build, which is right here. Move 1 row forward and place a grey concrete on top of this block. Extend the grey concrete upwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. Take all of those rows and extend them forwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we want to do the exact same with all of those rows, just like that. I then want you to take the top of the row of 6, the top grey concrete that we just placed on the front, and I want you to extend it forwards by a further 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What we can then do is we can take that block and extend it all the way over to the left, and it should join rather nicely to the front of the build. Once it joins on the left, I want you to extend it down to the platform, and then I want you to the right of this row place 4 glass block or pane. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a grey concrete, and then place 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 glass block or pane. I then want you to place a grey concrete on the end and extend the grey concrete backwards until it is parallel with where we pretty much just started here. We can extend the grey concrete upwards so that it is even and level with the rest of the grey concrete that we have surrounding us. We can do the same with the singular grey concrete in between all of the glass, and we can also raise the glass up so that it touches the grey concrete frame as well. So we just want to have something which should look like this. So in doing this, we can also create a little bit of a staircase for ourselves. I believe that the staircase starts 1 row inwards in between these 2 parallel rows of block of quartz that kind of look like a pause button. So 1 row inwards, place rows of oak stairs. You should have to place about 4 rows of oak stairs extending up to the top here. And then you can add a couple of rows of oak planks, just like this. Fill in the rest of the platform. I know that we left a little part of it exposed like so. And then if you add a couple of doors, so here and here, with a bit of glass above them, bit of grey concrete above that, then you'll have something which should look like this. I am personally opting this time, and by the way, I'm going to fill in the space just up above the door. I'm then going to take the very back of the row of grey concrete and I'm going to extend it across the back so that it hits the block of quartz. And I'm going to fill in the top of the roof using grey concrete. Now, do you have to do this? No, absolutely not. You can actually add some glass to create skylights. However, I'm tired of skylights. I want to have grey concrete. I want to have nice separated rooms, so I'm having grey concrete to fill in the entire roof, and then I'm probably going to stick some quartz slabs on top of it. When I say probably, that's certainly what's going to happen. So now that we have a bit of a blank slate at the back of the build, I'm going to extend the grey concrete on the right down to the quartz platform. I'm then going to take the bottom block and extend left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to extend that 5th block upwards, I'm going to add a row of grey concrete on top of that middle row, and then I'm actually going to add a small window because I believe I've got a bathroom here, and it benefits from having a small window. I might even add a couple more windows as we progress through the build, but you'll see that at the end of the video. Left of this area, I'm going to have a row of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 glass block that is parallel or equal and opposite to the one that we have on the front. So 5 rows of glass. I'm then going to add a row of grey concrete directly to the left, and then I'm going to add a row of glass inside. So you can see how the house kind of lines up. If you wanted to, you can completely tunnel this out and just have glass in there instead. That's up to you. You might want to leave that decision up until later on when we do the inside, and maybe you get a little bit of a different perspective, but we'll see, won't we? So now that we've done that, I'm going to add a row of quartz slab on top of the pre-existing quartz block that we have on the left side of the build. This quartz slab is important because it actually wants to extend all the way around the top of the grey concrete area. So it wants to skirt around the entire top exactly like this. And then we want to add a row of quartz slab that is lower by, I believe, an entire row, but it's got half a row in between it. So it'll look like this. From the front, you can see the look that we're going for. We want to have this sort of look, a thin blade of grey concrete in between the 2 parallel rows of quartz slab. You don't get that on the sides unless you knock out the quartz block and then place the quartz slab like this. So it's up to you. And sometimes I like to take the corners and I like to add an extra block in the corners. But again, it's about personal preference. So we did that on the side, right? And I'm quite happy, and we can do that to the corner as well. I quite like it because I like at least one corner being that way because it just looks a little bit more structurally integral, which I know sounds weird because it's Minecraft and gravity doesn't exist. So, but it just looks a little bit better to me anyway. So now that we've done that, what are we going to do next? Well, we really should add a little bit of hedging around the build. We need to add a couple of things. So here's what we need, right? I'm going to grab oak leaves to act as a hedge. We need a bit of a decking area that is going to be made out of oak planks. We need a bit of a pool area, which is going to be made out of block of quartz, quartz slabs, and quartz stairs. We'll need to line the pool, orange glazed terracotta, sea lanterns, and water buckets, and I don't think we need anything else. First, start by placing oak leaves around the entire bottom of your house, or at least that's what I like to do. I like to kind of just frame the house a little bit. When it comes to modern houses as well, it's very easy to just make them out of quartz, out of grey concrete, inorganic blocks. I find that quite often it helps to add a little bit of green. You want to figure out how big your pool is, quite honestly, and judging by this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it would seem as though my pool is 6 rows long. So if you take either side of the entrance, you could... Shall we make it 7? I like 7 as a number better than 6, I don't know why. Okay, so we're going to make it 7. We're going to take the left and right sides of the entrance area, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if this will throw off the shape. 7 rows of... or 2 rows of 7, rather, is the better way to say it, of quartz slab. And we want to place them both outside. It kind of looks like a forklift or something. We're going to take the left quartz slab here, the one on the inside, and we're going to extend it left. We're going to line it up with the grey concrete just right of the entrance. We're going to dig 2 rows in the ground, and we're going to stick quartz stairs in there. And then we're going to place quartz slabs extending backwards to hit the house. Now... yeah, 1 row hasn't really made a difference, so that looks fine. I'm going to extend the hedge, the oak leaves on the left side. I'm going to extend it so that it is even and level with the quartz slabs area that we have made. I'm going to be able to dig out the entrance, I guess what is now a long footpath to the 2nd floor of the house. I've dug that out and I've replaced that with oakwood planks, and I'm also going to dig out the left side here, and I'm going to dig this out and I'm going to replace it with oak, not orange, oak planks. And I don't know where orange came from. And we're just going to fill this in. So it's a bit of a decking area, and again, it's important to add more materials. It's quite easy to make a house, I think, out of just grey and white, but you've really got to, I think... I always try and like to use 3 blocks, but you know, it's up to you what you want to do. The entire pool... oh, also, I don't know how that got destroyed. We can place that there. The pool itself is we're going to have to dig 2 rows deep. The reason we've got to dig 2 rows deep is because I want to line the pool with what I like to call the Nemo block, which is, and I don't know why I call it Nemo block, mainly because it's mostly orange and there's a little bit of white in there, although Nemo didn't really have too much blue as I remember, but it's kind of like the Nemo glazed terracotta. I like using this for whenever I want a nice vibrant colour contrast in perhaps a pool or an interior wall. Very, very good. They're very good for like bathrooms and the backs of fish tanks and anywhere that you really need a block that's going to stand out. The Nemo block. Oh, and it also looks a little bit like Nemo, if Nemo had 2 heads and didn't have a tail. But anyway, we want to fill the base of the pool in. We're going to place block of quartz underneath the exposed blocks. Now, you can use block of quartz for the sides here, for instance, like on the left and right hand sides. But you might, I don't know which one looks better, I honestly don't, so this is a choice. I don't know whether to use grey concrete underneath the grey concrete parts. I don't know which would be better, like to just keep it block of quartz all the way around, or to kind of like mix and match materials as they are. I think that might look a little bit better. Choice is yours. So, we have to add a couple of sea lanterns. I'd recommend placing them in the middle, and I'd recommend placing them evenly. So let's say that we take the middle and we leave a gap of 3. So 1, 2, 3, sea lantern. Let's come to the other end. 1, 2, 3, sea lantern. And then we have a gap of 6 in the middle, which is fine. Yeah, I'm sure that there is a way to place them evenly, but I'm quite happy with how that looks. And then all we've got to do is we'll waterlog these blocks here, and then we will place some water all the way out in the pool, so that'll look just nice like that. If you want to add a couple of chairs, then feel free. Just a couple of little seats, just so that you can kind of overlook your pool a little bit. That's absolutely fine. If you want to add some planters with some plants, feel free to do that. But it's quite a simple house. I really like it. I like the fact that the pool is kind of integrated into the house. You could even make it so that you could walk up into the house from the pool if you did so want to. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to get rid of all these materials. I'm going to go away and I'm going to decorate the inside for you. And hopefully you'll like what I've done, and maybe you'll take a bit of inspiration from it. Maybe you won't. Maybe you just want to see how it all looks and how I've put it together in the old interior designy way. So, I'll be back in just a moment. Once I've done all that, I might even add something else to the outside, I don't know. I'll be back in a second and we can take a good look at what your house could look like. But the block for block part of this tutorial is over. Let's do it. So this is what your house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. As you can see, not much has changed with the outside. You may notice an extra window or so, but you'll be able to see why I decided on those placements when we get inside. And I have renovated the little outdoor seating area a little bit as well, just to include a parasol and some tables. I think it's a little bit more colourful this way. So we'll start by taking a look at the inside on the ground level. On the inside, we have a couple of chests, we have a small table, we have a kitchen with a breakfast bar and a small little dining table with a fridge and a sink and a place to make drinks. We have a birdcage on the wall. We have more units. We have a television with a coffee table and a sofa. All of this, of course, can be swapped out for a more survival-based interior if you like, but I'm actually quite happy with the little mini interior that we have that is hopefully a little bit realistic. It's kind of like a small house, but I think it is quite feasible that somebody might actually live here in real life if this were an actual house. We have on the second floor a little bit of a hallway with a table and a lamp that takes us into a bit of an open plan living room where we have a fish tank to look at and enjoy. That's Gerald. Hello, Gerald. We also have a set of bookshelves and another seating area. We have 3 rooms up here, not including the hallway. We have this living area, but we also have a small little bedroom here, which has wardrobes, beds, a lamp, a little desk as well. And if we come all the way over onto the opposite side of that wall there, we will have a bathroom that has a shower, a toilet, and it also has a sink and some units as well. Now, hopefully that has given you a little bit of an inspiration. Maybe you now know what you want to do with the inside of your house, and hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me in the channel very, very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And if you do want to make anything else by me, check out the card system description below in the top of the comment section for more. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.